Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show. And we're here with our good friend, my bud out here from Santa Cruz, California. My man Nate Guttz, Guttenberg, who y'all about to find out a bit about his philosophy when it comes to hip-hop music. And really, the knowledge base when you talk about this young man. Ladies and gents, I'm going to take my headphones off for all y'all that can see us on this video because we're live right now. And I'm going to keep, actually, Nate, I'm going to take down the Southern Rockets. So everybody listening in right now, I'm about to stop the Southern Rockets are. And it's always nice, though. You know, like, it always sounds really good. So I like to incorporate it as much as possible. Now, Nate, with this, brother, just know you can elevate these two. These rise up.
Oh, sweet.
I think just sort of pull it on up, kiddo. Doing the mic adjustment. We did that with our good friend Austin Shaw a couple episodes ago. And, you know, he's got to make sure our guests remember that, you know, we do have a little flexibility with these bad boys.
Can reach my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to bend too far down here. Hey, Nate, man. Thank you for being in the studio, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor.
Honestly, man, you know, we've known each other for a couple of years, and, you know, being from Santa Cruz area, it's probably one of the most unique places on the planet. You know, you have the redwoods, you have the ocean, you have a chill vibe. And, you know, I always start the interviews, brother, asking our featured guests a bit about, you know, their background, man, you know, so our audience and your fans can get a little sense of, you know, who Nate, you know, Guttenberg is. You know, when we talk about Guttz, ladies and gents, I want you to realize that, you know, first off, happy Halloween coming up for those that are celebrating. We have all these cool little things around the studio, you know what I'm saying? And then we have this cool little ghost thing here. Let's see what this is.
It's spooky in here for sure.
Yeah, right? It's wicked spooky, bro. Yeah, so, you know, we're getting funky. You know, we're doing it. We got the little ghost out there. But I want you to realize that, you know, this world of music is something that we have to, you know, think about when we talk about art, because it's more than the idea that, you know, you want to be rich and famous. You know, there's a reason you do what you do with this music, brother. And that's what I want to get into that idea, okay? But before we go there, you know, as everybody's listening in, you know, they hear me say, you know, well, how's it going to start? And, well, you know how I start this show. You all know how we do this. I got to ask this gentleman where he's from. My brother, Nate, where you born and raised, brother? And, you know, sort of how did you get out to Santa Cruz?
Yeah, so that's a little convoluted, but basically I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, and then I moved out here when I was like 2 or 3 years old, so I don't really remember Texas at all. It's just kind of on my birth certificate. And then went to elementary school in Santa Cruz, and then got stuck in Davis, California for a while, and ended up in Clovis for high school, and then came back to Santa Cruz as soon as possible.
How was Clovis?
There's some cool people there. It's not my favorite part of the state, but it's all right.
For people listening in who don't know about the Fresno area, what's it like, brother? Because Santa Cruz, I already made that point. It's gorgeous here, everybody. It's paradise on earth. I mean, I don't know how else to express this, but this is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Fresno also has incredible beauty. What was it like there, brother?
Well, for me, the beauty of Fresno is kind of outside of Fresno still. There's Yosemite right by, which is obviously, like, amazing. But inside Fresno, there was some really beautiful people I met, but it wasn't my scene for the nature or anything like that.
So what year did you get out here?
I came back here 2010, so I've been back here like 7 years.
So that's about when we got out here. As I'm looking back over to Lisa TSP, big shout out to my other half in life and the other half of the Subjective Perspective Show. And as y'all realize, you know, this is episode 120, y'all. This is not episode 5. This is not episode 25, 55, 95. You know, we're at 120. You know, this takes a lot of just love for what we're doing here, Nate, brother. You know, like, we really enjoy this process, and we enjoy inspiring everybody. That's the most important thing. So we're going to get to the ideas of your music in a moment. But I want to make the point of how, when you got out here in 2010, that's when we got out here, brother.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. We ended up driving across America from New York. And an act of desperation in life, I would believe, I would say, where we, working class, working poor families, and, just everybody, struggling out there. And I was like, there's got to be a better way in this world, for everybody who, knows what it is to work hard and knows what it is to work 60, 80-hour weeks. And I was working labor work, but I also got into service work in the world of education. So I've been working in that realm for 15, 16 years. But when you really grind it out and you put your heart someplace, that's the working class work ethic that I grew up with, Nate. And there's something special about the Bay Area in that regard. There's a strong working class area out here, And what's your take on the Santa Cruz area, brother man? How do you feel about this area?
This area is like my favorite in the world for sure. It's kind of a vortex. It sucks you in and it's hard to leave. I don't know. The culture here is awesome. The people are awesome. Generally, it's just a good vibes town, to be cliche for sure.
Now, you've been around the California area. Have you ever been out to the East Coast?
Yeah. My mother lived in New York for about 5 or 6 years, actually, in Queens. So I spent a good time out there, and my sister lived in Boston. So I've been to the East Coast a fair amount of times.
How was Queens? Now, did you get to go visit Queens, New York?
I did, yeah. It was very busy compared to Santa Cruz. People move a lot faster. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but the weather was not my favorite. Every time I went and visit, it would end up being the winter time, so I just get stuck in the snow.
And that snow gets cold out there, Nate, doesn't, brother?
Oh, yeah.
It's one thing on, a cool night out here in Cali, and it'll dip down to the 40s, maybe the 30s in some areas. But when it's consistently like, 2 degrees, -5, you're like, wait a second here. There's got to be a better way, I think,
Absolutely.
And, so you've seen the East Coast. Boston also. Boston, what's your take between Boston and New York? What did you like better and why?
I'd probably have to say Boston. It was just a lot more fun to kind of get lost in Boston and find all sorts of historical stuff and cool concert venues and bars to check out. It just seemed more like a fun town to me, honestly.
Did you go down to Cheers by any chance?
I did not see the Cheers bar.
Okay.
I missed out on that.
All right, right on. It was right. Now, listen, I went there back in like 98. Now, I'm going to tell you, it was sort of like an Applebee's on the inside, Nate. It wasn't like anything. It didn't look like the TV show Cheers, okay? But it was really cool because it was in this like really nice area of Boston, probably really collegiate area, and people that are working, making some dough, and right by Fenway Park. Okay, but it had the little sign with the hand pointing down, the finger pointing down, like that's in the beginning of the TV show. The way we got there, I was with like 5 young guys, and we were skating all through New York to Boston, and that weekend we ended up going up to Massachusetts from New York, and we did like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Boston, Providence, and we would go to skate parks and we would skate. So we had some great skate sessions, like some crazy good skate sessions, those days. Actually, this is back in like the 90s, which, by the way, we have a bunch of people going to be coming in the studio, everybody listening in down the road. Right now, we have our featured guest, Nathaniel Guttenberg, Nate, my man Guttz, coming out of Santa Cruz, California.
Oh, yeah.
He's right here with us. And we also have a couple people coming on in. I mentioned we have the book, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, Nate. Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, I am. Yeah, the Merry Pranksters.
The Merry Pranksters, yes, it is. We have apparently one of the original Merry Pranksters. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, George Walker, when George comes into the studio, I believe George may be in the book. And I correct me if I'm wrong, please. And our good friend Normal Bean. Normal Bean, also one of the pranksters who we actually, Nate, played a bunch of festivals up in the Northeast, up in Eugene, Oregon, and just a bunch of different venues, and in Sacramento. And Normal Bean was the manager of many people, from David Peel, who just passed away recently. And, if anybody hasn't heard our interview with David Peel, you got to check it out because this gentleman in the 60s and 70s really shook it up. He shook up consciousness with music that he put out. And check out our interview with David Peel, everybody. But Norma was the manager for David Peel. So I just saw that recently. We connected on the internet, on Facebook. And so he's going to be in the studio with us. Was hoping in November, so coming up soon. So we're trying to actually book a show somewhere in Monterey, actually, where the Subjective Perspective, Lisa TSP, and myself are going to be rocking and rolling with Normal Beans Band. And George Walker from the Merry Pranksters is part of this whole network. And the bus, Further. So apparently parts of the original bus, and please correct me if I'm wrong, are on the new bus, Farther. So Further was the original one. Now, everybody listening, you could see the lights going down a bit. It's sort of funky, actually. Sort of funky doing the lights down. The next time it goes down, we'll let it go down for a couple minutes. We'll see
some mood lighting.
Yeah, there was some mood lighting. Listen to me, and TSP saved us. Thank you for that, love. And but for everybody listening in the audio, you weren't able to see that. In the studio, the lights went down really nice and subtly, and we have these blue lights on the table. Like, so people that are watching the video, you'll be able to see this in about a couple days when the video's all out there. So just again, everybody, the video will be out in a couple days of this interview, featured guest with Guttz, episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show. Right now, you have the audio coming through. So we just want to say thank you, everybody, for your unwavering support, for your dedication to what we do here on the Subjective Perspective Show, and now kicking it off, the first season of Be Awoke Entertainment. And I hope you're digging it, everybody, because BeAwoke.com, that's really where we're at now. That's what we felt it. It was so right, and we hope that you are enjoying what we're doing for you all here. And we have a lot of incredible guests coming on, aside from Normal and George, that are going to be coming in with us. That should be coming in a couple weeks. Guttz, back to you, my brother.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? First off, now you're in Santa Cruz, you're making music. And I want to play a song in a moment. But how'd you get into hip-hop, brother?
Well, I've kind of just been obsessed with music since I can remember. And hip-hop has just always been one of my favorite genres to listen to. And back in, like, junior high school when I was doing plays and stuff, I was doing theater. Me and some friends would just kind of joke around and freestyle backstage, and it just kind of started that way. And then eventually I was like, oh, I could maybe try to write some real stuff and like make beats, and it just kind of happened.
I love that. Big shout out to our cousin Casey out in Long Island, New York, talking about theater. He just had a play out there in New York. So, yeah, that's really funny that you mentioned that. So what got you into theater, brother, man? When did that start?
That started when I was like 8 years old. One of my older brothers was super into acting at the time, and I just kind of followed in his footsteps, and I got to be in a play with his college when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And so I realized I really liked doing it, and I was kind of good at it, and so I just kept acting, and yeah.
Did that tie into the world of your music?
I think it's definitely had an effect on it now, because my music has kind of replaced acting. I haven't done that in like several years, so I definitely feel like I've taken elements from that into hip-hop for sure.
Nate, when I think about it, brother, man, hip-hop music is so poetic. Were you a writer also at any point in your life? Were you a poet?
Kind of. I mean, not like a great poet, but that's kind of how I view like my hip-hop. It's not really like, your standard hip-hop stuff. It's more just kind of like I write poetry for myself, like based on an emotion I'm feeling, or like something I want to tell myself or tell other people, and then kind of put it to rhyme and to music.
It reminds me of spontaneous prose, and it reminds me of Jack Kerouac. It reminds me of the notion, Nate, of first thought is right thought. So those writers of the Beat Generation, Ginsberg, Kerouac, Neil Cassidy, I'll say, or Gregory Corso, Burroughs. I know there's a lot of controversy with a lot of these people. For those that know Burroughs and Ginsberg, but in the world of writing, really Kerouac and our good friend Dave Amram. Dave was the original jazz musician, Nate, with Jack Kerouac. So back in the coffee house in the 50s, Dave was in Jack's movie called Pull My Daisy. So Pull My Daisy was a movie, a silent film, essentially, that Dave wrote the score to. Okay, this is like 54, I want to say something like that. We've had Dave on the show like 2 years ago, and he was the pallbearer at Hunter S. Thompson's funeral.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it goes that deep, you know. And I think he had mentioned on the show that Johnny Depp had called him and invited him. So it's like that kind of like, whoa, you know, it's like that stuff that just makes you realize. And there's this gentleman who's opened the door for me to speak with him, or if I ever wanted to talk, you know, back in the early 2000s when I had met him. And so we connected for years. And to this day we connect, you know, like I'll get an email from him. I'll send him a message, give him a call, and I should give him a call soon, because we want to have him on the show again. We have to get Dave back on the show. Actually, he wanted to be on this summer, and we asked him to be on. He said he would have some time. So he's a busy man, though. 82, 83, something like that. He makes me look tired, Nate. This man makes me look like I am like just like slowing down, flying all over the world, and and working out of the medium of love. And I think that's where your music comes out of, brother. You know, we mentioned a great musician before, John Frusciante. And, you know, there's a song that you have that you did some lyrics over Frusciante's guitar tracks. And for people that don't know, please go to Bandcamp. Where can everybody find that, Nate, brother?
Yeah, it's Bandcamp, and then just my name /GUTTZ/Guttz.
Now, when you say name, brother, just Nate Guttz?
Or no, sorry, my stage name.
Yes. So
my hip hop name.
So yeah, that's right, brother. That's right. So it's then bandcamp.com/Guttz.
Yes, sir.
GUTTZ. Ladies and gents, go to it, please. You can download the songs for a real chill fee. You know, nothing that's crazy.
Oh no, it's all free on mine too.
Oh yeah, and you know, but you know, give a little donation there. You know, throw a couple bucks.
You can.
You know, please. You know, support the local artists. You know, here, and you know, your music, Nate, I think is absolutely beautiful, brother. Which is why when we first talked about, you know, music probably 2 years ago when we were first connecting, you know, when I first heard your tracks, the one thing that Lisa and I really appreciated was that it was positive, man. It was coming from a positive place, even though it deals with big issues and struggles. You're not creating an environment in the space of someone's consciousness where they're feeling engulfed with rage and anger. You're actually creating an outlet, a catharsis, brother, where people could sort of just, you know, drive a bit to that beautiful rhythm that you make, man, on however you make it, brother, whatever software you're using. And they could really find that, you know, the lyrics that you have are more than just wanting to shock people. It's there because it's coming from your heart. And I want to ask you, brother, man, you know, I want to play a song in a moment. I think I want to start off with Far City, Utah, if we could. What's the song about, brother, man? And what's the process that you take, you know, to create a song like that?
For sure. I guess this song is basically just like a motivational song, kind of for myself, but obviously for anyone else that connects with it too. But just about not worrying and working instead of worrying, and just trying to, you know, deal with your problems head on kind of thing. As far as like the process, usually it's pretty organic, and like I don't try to like write a song. It just kind of, I start thinking of, you know, a general topic I want to talk about, and then try to write things that sound cool and rhyme, and go from there. And I was lucky enough to have my buddy Will Johnson, or Bird Triangle as we call him on this track, to help me out with this. And he just
shout out to Bird Triangle.
Big shout out Bird Triangle.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just doing it the new school way, where he like records at home and emails me his part and stuff, and mix it together, and it all came together.
It's amazing that that's how you do it nowadays. And I know it, Nate, because we've been in like scenarios where we would email, you know, stuff over to other people that want to collaborate and check things out. You know, as Nate was talking, I pulled out a maraca that we had come across on one of our thrift stores out here in Santa Cruz. And see that beat?
It's got a good sound to it.
That's got a nice rhythm. Makes me almost want to rhyme. Oh my gosh, Nate. I won't start rhyming right now. I won't do it. But I just wanted everybody to hear that. Just a little meditation piece. Ready? Yeah, you see that? You think I might be really going there with the whole Om thing, but I had to do it because there's probably someone out there listening saying, you know what? I'm feeling that right now, man. I'm chilling right now. Totally. And if you're listening on audio, you're just kicking back. And the world's wild. And there's a lot going on right now. And that we're not going to mention the name of people that you're hearing a lot on mainstream currents. There's a reason for that. Because there's a whole other side to this world. And it deals with what I consider the base of the mountain. You see, if you look at a triangle, you take a triangle, right, the thumbs of your triangle, you make a triangle with your hands. Put your hands up, sort of like up towards the sky and just sort of make a triangle with the space in your hands. The thumbs connected. The thumbs are the base. The tip of the triangle, that's the Appalachia, That's the stuff that, it's like the heads of systems and businesses and all that kind of stuff. The base of the mountain are the people, And that's where the change is going to happen, That's where the change is going to occur. It's going to happen when the people come together as one and recognize that, we are all in this thing together and that we have an incredible ability to be interconnected if we just give each other the time. You know what I'm saying? If we just take a moment to be kind. And Nate, man, every time I talk with you, brother, for a couple of years now, you're always so kind, man. And I just got to say, that goes such a far way, brother. And when I saw you in the parking lot the other day, man, over in Safeway, I was like, Nate, this is crazy, man. And I was just talking about you, too, because I wanted to get you on. And I'm just so happy that we have my brother Nate here, man, from Santa Cruz, California. Episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show. So let's go into Far City, Utah, kiddo.
Cool.
So we're going to go into about 2 minutes and 17 seconds that you don't got to pay for, but please leave a little love on Gutz's Bandcamp page. Give a little love and, throw a penny or two down, $1 or $2 if you could, because I think that if we all could just give a little bit extra, if we have a little extra, we start to see that we get back in ways that, man, it's beyond the giving. And then you just want to give more because you recognize that it's all in the giving, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all the greatness you get is in the giving. And that's something that I hope everybody's taking away in this episode. Nate and I have known each other for a couple of years, and Lisa TSP and I, with Nate, have known each other for a couple of years here in Santa Cruz. Just doing Santa Cruz things. I'm reading your shirt right now, the Johnny Cash shirt. That's cool, brother. And, it's finally coming to fruition where we have this time to have you in the studio. But, this ain't going to be the first time that we're going to have you on, brother. This is just scratching the surface. So let's go into a song, come out of it, and we'll get into another deep side of conversation.
All
maybe
right.
a little politics and maybe a little astronomy or something like that. We'll go funky. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show on Be Awoke Entertainment. That's www.beawoke.com/TSP. This is our great friend Guttz. And I'm going to get his song queued up here. This is Far City, Utah, everybody. 2 minutes and 17 seconds of a track that you won't have to spend any money on. But like we said, go out there and support this gentleman because this music is the music of this generation that will truly inspire someone's inner workings, someone's metaphysical inner workings. Some would say a soul. I don't want to marginalize anybody. Say what you want to say. But this is the stuff that's going to really make you feel like, hey, man and woman, we're all on the same team. Go out there and make what it is that you see in your mind your reality. Create that life that you know exists. Create the life that everybody tells you doesn't exist. And look back and say, wow, what else can I do? Guttz does that. This is Far City, Utah, ladies and gents. Be right on back. 2 minutes, 17 seconds. This is TSPS.
We have to realize that times of stress are also times that are signals for growth. And if we use adversity properly, we can grow through adversity.
Yo, I'm pickling like Rick, spit vinegar acidic. Search my pH, no more basic. Give me a problem, I'll erase it. Show me a fear and I will face it. Give me glory, I will taste it. But my humbleness will keep me stationed. My whole life is teaching patience. Like hearing people call me Nathan. Shrug it off, I'm way too busy blazing. Trails carved deep into the mountainside. I can see the top, and I know I gotta climb. I don't care if it takes time. Scrambling over boulders, shoulders heavy with the burden. Really want my soul to be free before they close the curtain. When my bones are hurting, can't worry but put work in. All of my life I've been questioning and searching. Some words gave me fire to the wind, I'm unfurled. I don't sleep to dream like Carter, but dream to change the world. Dream to change the world. Yeah, Guttz. Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better. Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better.
Climbing, the side smiles for ice nining. Simon signs divisive white diamonds by them shining. If all untimely, I'd be sly to find them in my teeth. Side beast, bottom dog, Optimus Prime. We shocked and miss rhymes, wheeled clock with pristine tines. Dig the mind's blast cap and mind the time. Crane to Cobra Kai, side the eye in the sky. Finally, pine box me, meters frozen. Chicken pox gets the vax geeks and leader hose. And sipping coffee and yak with Mr. Feet are cloven. Aim to beat Jehovah where the talent shoguns. Fucking armed to tease frog darts in the blowguns. Cold heart, aiming shots at the open ocean. Socialized by the boss once a soul is broken. It's the oldest notion, get no life is hopeless. Tattooed on your wrist in a simple text. Plus deep breath, accept what's next is that. Mess up, we're all scared of the final step. Best approximate whatever gets you no regret. Ha!
Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better. Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better. Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better. Put up or shut up, it's now or never. You can't dream your life away if you want it to get better.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our main man Guttz right here. See, I told you, the music is that feel that will just take it to another level. And it's something that I think is born out of, a feeling of struggle in life. Brother, and I just want to make a point, man. If anybody out there is having any struggle, and, if there's anything going on in anybody's life, always feel free, to, get in touch with us here. You can always reach out on social media, which we hope everybody knows that, via social media, you can always reach out to us. And we just want you all to remember that you always have somebody on your side. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is when you feel alone. And I think it's so common to feel alone. What was going on, brother, man, out of a lot of this music, man? What goes on in the mind of a genius like yourself, kiddo?
I don't know. I think that's a bit too high of an accolade, but
yeah. I think you're brilliant, though. I think you're brilliant, man.
I don't know. I just like everyone, I've just had my own struggles in life. Mainly, it's just self-created stuff with mental stuff. I've dealt with depression, anxiety, and that kind of stuff. And really, for me, this is just it's the best kind of therapy. Just writing about that stuff and trying to make it into a song is really kind of selfish for me. And then if other people like it, that's awesome. But
we love it, brother. We love it, my
you.
man. We've been checking that out now for 2 years. Your music, man. We have your music here. A lot going on right now. Also politically in the world of pharmaceuticals. What's your take on that, brother? We have a lot of corporations that make a lot of money on pharmaceuticals. And yes, there's a need in certain places for pharmaceuticals. But irrefutably, it seems that it's been over inundated in this society. There's been people that have been given pills from these croakers, as they would call them, erroneously, and this is all documented stuff, stuff that people could Google for a second, even if you, like George Carlin would say, the late great George Carlin, even if you read the newspaper half badly, you can still see what's going on, Right. Google it, even if you Google half badly, don't Google, do another search engine, you'll find it, it'll pop up, and you'll see, the pain, and we've also experienced that personally. What's your take on what's going on with it, brother, man, with the pharmaceuticals, bro? Do you think that, they're ever going to concede to what's right in not pushing a lot of these pills out there in society the way they do.
I mean, I at least hope, and I think this whole opioid epidemic thing is having somewhat of an impact. I know, like, from personal experience it does, because I have, like, chronic back and neck pain, and I've had trouble, like, even getting simple, like, muscle relaxants. I'm not even talking opioids, stuff like that from doctors, because they're now so scared, you know, they don't want to overprescribe things, which is probably a good thing, but it's also that flip side where it's like, if you actually need medicine, it's kind of hard to get it. But the whole thing with opioids and narcotics has gotten so out of hand that, I hope they turn it around soon and stop putting, like, people's lives, you know, ahead of money or behind money.
And what's crazy, Nate, brother, is that there's, like you said, there's so much money invested in this. You know, there was a documentary called The OxyContin Express. It was, like, on Vice, like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and it was all about, like, Southern Florida and all of, like, the pill shops they had down there, and this is all out there, ladies and gentlemen. You know, check it out. I mean, it's absolutely just it breaks your heart, because you see these people just going in and just getting these tons of pills, and how it destroys people. It's something that when you talk about you know, Zombie Nation and stuff like that, you see people zombified, man. And I just hope everybody listening in, you know, you realize that there's a better way of getting clarity. And I know a lot of those pills are all about escapism and escaping, but just realize that you could do that through meditation. You could do that through creation, like Nate does, like Guttz does with us. Please don't let drugs be the avenue you go down. And I'm nobody to tell anybody what to do. I'm just another human in life. But I think, you know, that in that realm, there's things that could really destroy you. And that's one of those things, are those pharmaceuticals. And the paradox is that they're so often given to people. They're so readily available. And, you know, you see how it's the downfall of so many people's lives. And so, you know, you just say to yourself, gosh, you know, what is the deal with this? Do you have any music on that, brother, man? Have you written anything on that stuff?
I actually haven't. No, that'd be a really good topic to write about.
Sick, man. That'd be sick. If you do it, brother, please, like, just let me know, and we're gonna, like, blast it out on everybody, like, on our show, because I want to hear. You know, I would love to hear from your standpoint. You know, what's your take on, you know, what you believe to be the way out for people, you know, and you give us that. And we're going to play another song in a moment, brother. I have Fallen Away, and I can't wait to hear this now, okay? So we're going to get into this in a moment. But before we go there, brother, you know, politics is one thing I don't go too crazy into. I can.
Oh, man.
We're going in. Episode 120 goes in with Guttz, ladies and gents. Politics. Anything going on in this world of politics, my brother? When we had Bernie Sanders out here about a year and change ago, Lisa and I were there. You know, we
I
went
was
down
there too at the rally.
Yeah, man. Were you inside the Coliseum?
I made it in.
Oh, dude, we were outside, bro. It was packed, ladies and gents. It was wrapped around the San Lorenzo River area, right over there. We have it all on video, so we have it on an old vlog. Just go to one of our old vlogs, 100-something, or actually, vlog 40, 50-something. It was massive. What's your take on everything right now with what's going on with the presidency, brother, man? As deep as you want to go into it, my man. I won't go too specific just yet, but I'll see how far you want to go with it.
Oh, geez. Not a fan of the current president, but I'm not really seeing much of a way out right now. I had my hopes with the whole Russia investigation or whatever, and I know Mueller, the attorney, is still doing his thing, so we'll see. But right now it just seems like we kind of have to ride out this crazy wave of racist, xenophobic, like homophobic, everything under the sun that's bad he kind of represents and is pushing out into our country. And
what's crazy, brother, is, you know, there's the investigation, I guess, going on. You know, they're apparently going to indict somebody this week.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, apparently that's tomorrow. Something's coming out. I think is that what it is, sweetie? Something like that?
They didn't say who yet, but I think the guess.
If you can't hear Lisa TSP, she's saying they don't know who yet, but, you know, it's things are sort of moving in a direction where, you know, in life, I think, just in general, when you do wrong, you'd be silly to believe that you can get away with it. You know, somebody who is naive, somebody who's ignorant would steal and think that they can get away with that, not realizing that if you got through it once, maybe you'll get there, maybe you'll get through it. It also does something to you emotionally, it does something to you neurologically, but as well, the second time you may not just get there, and you may just get caught. So please realize, do the right things, okay? Save yourself a lot of hassle in life, okay? Don't listen to the nonsense out there. So I know growing up in this world, in this country, it could get a little crazy. There could be a lot of pressures and people saying, go do this, go do that. Listen to your better judgment in life, please, ladies and gents. Because what we're seeing really is sort of like watching kids play on a sandbox. You know, we're watching people bicker with one another. And you say to yourself, but, you know, we have ways of resolving issues in our personal life that are so different. Take a sip of some water really quick. Why does it become so, using your word from before, convoluted? You know, when we think about why did it take, why is what's happening in San Juan, Puerto Rico the way it's happening? You know, why did it happen like that in Katrina? You know, so not just putting the blame just on one person. There's a lot of sin to go around in a lot of presidencies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just so happens this one is the one right now that is a little, you know, got a lot of people thinking, got a lot of people feeling as though they need to feel as though they have a safe haven to live in this country. You know, some people may not feel that, as you mentioned before, with a lot of what we see with the xenophobia and a lot of all the isms, you know, that are coming out.
Right.
All those that are coming out. We start to realize, Nate, brother, that it's a lot of it is pandering to demographics to get, you know, to perpetuate, you know, people's positions, right? As we know that. And a lot of it is also just people that are just, you know, unevolved, you know, people that aren't where you are, brother. But, you know, what gets someone like you to where you are, my man? You know, you're an educated gentleman. You know, what are you doing in the world of education, too?
Right now, I actually just started at UCSC finally after transferring from Cabrillo.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I'm actually...
That's Santa Cruz, California. University of California, Santa Cruz.
UCSC.
One of the most beautiful campuses on the planet.
It is amazing. It's kind of hard to go to class when you're stuck in the redwoods.
Yeah,
you just want to sit down.
Adorned with redwoods. Oh, man, I love that view of the water. Oh, my gosh, of the Monterey Bay. Ah,
It's beautiful.
How you liking UCSC, kiddo?
It's good. It's intense trying to go to this quarter system. It's really fast. And
8 weeks?
8 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we had midterms after 4 weeks of class.
I'm doing doctoral work, Nate, brother. I'm
yeah,
doing doctoral
you know the
work,
drill. Yeah.
and I'm doing it in quarters, 8 weeks.
Oh, my God.
I just finished off some work before we came down to the studio, man. So I was like working, doing that earlier today. And I know it goes fast, but I'm really happy, man, that you're doing the 8 week quarters. What is the specific major?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm a history major. I think I'm going to be an early Africa and Americas major. Yeah.
When I tell you this, brother, history in any regard, that degree is going to carry a lot of weight, especially if you ever want to work in the realm of teaching history. What would you want to do with a history degree, brother, man? Is that something that you'd want to get into, possibly teaching the subject?
Possibly. To be honest, at this point, I'm kind of just... I want that piece of paper. I want to be able to say I have a degree in case, you know, I need that down the line. But I have thought about teaching in the past, so that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Or I could always be a librarian, I guess, with a history
that
degree.
Would be awesome. Listen, you know, some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life were librarians. Just so you know, Nate, and people that were so informative. I forget the exact specific major that people had gotten. I think it was library information or something with that realm.
Right.
But the librarians were always like the most brilliant people on campus. So I just want you to know you fit in perfect, brother, man. And your music really reflects that. You know, we just heard Far City, Utah, and I want to get into Fawn Away. And, you know, talked a bit about, we'll go back into some politics, but I just want to get into the music for a moment. Where did Fawn Away come from, my brother?
I think this one actually kind of had to do with my start at UCSC in a way, because I started as a music major, but I didn't make the cut into this music theory course, which I need to take. And so they were going to delay my degree by a whole year.
Interesting, man.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to spend the time or money doing that.
Why
so,
music theory initially, brother, man? What got you into music? Why did you want to go that route? Just because of the creative aspect?
Totally, and I figured if I went back to school, because I took some time off, I figured if I went back for something that I was super passionate about already, it'd be way easier to motivate myself to get myself through it.
Good point. That's a good idea, brother. Right on.
But then I had to change routes.
Yeah.
And so...
History's cool.
Yeah,
History's
I'm
super
stoked
cool.
on it. Yeah.
Right on. That's as I know you, man. You're a deep dude. You know you go deep with it. And early African history, early American history. I mean, you're talking Tanzania. You're talking 250,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right, we're talking now, ladies and gents. Now we're going to go there. Now we're going in deep. Now we did it. We cracked that glass ceiling. We're in, or the glass floor. We're going down, y'all. So let's go to Tanzania. You know what? 250,000 years ago? Let's go to where geneticist Spencer Wells says we all go back to, tracing genetic markers. And, we look at all of the differentiation now of people and all this distinction that people make. And, this is my culture here. This is my culture there. Well, guess what? We're all brothers and sisters, man. How's little Jerry? Is he okay there?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Right now, little Jerry boy, our little baby Tibetan Spaniel is just sort of wanting to play with Guttz in the studio right now. So if you're hearing right now, that's why I just wanted to see if Guttz is cool, doing all right over there with little Jerry rocking. Oh, we have our lights going down. Let's keep it down for now. This is cool, man. So right now, we'll keep it down for a couple minutes. So right now, you won't be able to see too much. I'll just get a little angle going. Maybe for like 1 minute or so, because it is rather dark. But it is cool. To have, right on. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so right now, for everybody listening, Lisa TSP just put a big spotlight on us. So right now, me and Guttz are under the spotlight, which is pretty rad, dog.
It's sweaty.
This is pretty. So we are really producing our network the way that you would do it. We don't have the biggest boom mics and stuff, but we'll give you a spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Nate, brother, so okay, let's go to early African history. And it makes that point. There's so much distinction made nowadays between people and cultures. Listen, y'all, we're all brothers and sisters. Stop fighting with each other. Stop being big babies. We all go back, to Africa. And what goes on before that? Who knows what's going on? Let's go back 250,000 years or so. Come on. We're going planet Earth, 4-point-something billion years old. Universe, 13-point-something billion years old. Let's go down that rabbit hole. What's your take on it, brother, man? What do you think about that?
About ancient Africa?
Yeah. He's like, Nick, about which part? About going out of the solar system? About going out of Tanzania? Which way are we going here, bro? I love this. Nate, this is why I love this, because we get into every area we want. We have nobody telling us what to say. We just get funky with it. What about the idea of we all going back to one tribe in Africa, to one group of people in Africa, and the fact that there's so much fighting in the world with people that are like, saying, hey, my culture's better than yours, but dude, let's just chill out here, What's your take on all that, my brother? And I just want to thank Lisa TSP for getting the lights. It looks really nice now. There's a little dimmed, actually. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty mellow. Yeah. Yeah, everybody listening in right now, we got really cool lighting things going on. We got that nice. We have a big whiteboard. We did a little graffiti piece up there. We got to take some pictures of before Guttz goes loose. We're gonna definitely do some promo shots and a little bit. We'll do some promo pictures and stuff like that. You'll go on one side, I'll go on the other. It'll be fun. Right? But no, brother, about all this nonsense fighting that people are into, about the fact that we really do scientifically all go back to one group, and the fact that we could go beyond all of that and what was here a couple 100 million years ago, a couple billion years ago, all that stuff.
Totally.
Go take whichever topic you want first on that.
No, I mean, absolutely. You said it. I just think the whole division thing is ridiculous because, it's been scientifically proven again and again that we all do come from Africa, that we all are humans, we all originated from the same place. So it just makes no sense to be killing each other, to be fighting with each other, to et cetera, et cetera. The things humans do to each other is kind of crazy.
And what's so wild about it, Guttz, is that, you got North Korea going down. You got everything with Russia going down, everything in America going down. And it's like, why do people become so pigeonholed into the idea that, that they are better than anybody else, that they have any say in anybody else's life. We are really all just, top feeders on this globe. We're all just, you can say I gotta say how Joe Rogan. I'll paraphrase Joe Rogan. We made the point we're all, it's like all spores on when you look at mold on bread. This is Joe Rogan who made this point. When you look at mold on bread from a distance, it's it looks like mold on bread. But when you go down into it, you can see the tiny spores if you have a microscope, and that's really what life is. We're all one. And we got to start to really treat each other like that, ladies and gents. I just want to again make the point that was Joe Rogan that gave that analogy, and the reason I use that is because it's absolutely brilliant. And I just want to give my hat off to Joe Rogan, being somebody, no matter what you think about him, how famous he got, how much money he got, good to him, man. Good for him. I mean, how many people out there want that? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he started on Fear Factor. He was just a regular person. But, I think when you give credit where credit is due, brother, like how, we're listening to your music, think that your music's amazing. It's great. So honored that you came in first off, and so grateful that you came in, brother. Taking time out of your day to be with us.
The honor is mine for sure.
This is awesome. It won't be the first time, bro. It won't be the last time, I should say. It's the first time, but it won't be the last time. But that's why, man. I think when we can appreciate the successes of others, we sort of like really appreciate our own successes, and we charge off of one another, man. Like we get inspired off of one another. And I think that people could realize that if you're lethargic, if you're tired, get out there in society, get out there with people, turn off the devices, turn on to nature, sit in front of the sun, talk to some people, and it's a different thing in this day and age. But your music, brother, I go off on that because I say fawn away. As I'm falling away to another idea, but fawn away, sort of a reflection of some of the new experiences in UCSC.
Yeah, that and also just the way I say "find a way" in the song kind of sounds like that. So it's a bit of an iteration from that.
That's rad. That's rad. And ladies and gentlemen, right now I'm getting it set up for us. I want to give us another jam by our featured guest, episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show. Our great friend Guttz out here in Santa Cruz, California. And you may know him by his government name, Nathaniel Guttenberg, Nate Guttenberg. And we always, whenever we talk now, recently we've been talking about Steve Guttenberg. And Steve, if you're listening, if you're related to this man, please.
Submit a blood test, please, Steve Guttenberg. I know you're my cousin or my uncle.
I love it because not many people know Steve Guttenberg in the 2017. You all should, because he's one of the great actors.
3 Men and a Baby. Come on.
Exactly. I'm so glad you referenced that one.
Police Academy.
Police Academy is the biggie I was going to reference. Yeah. But 3 Men and a Baby. Do you know the part with the cardboard cutout?
Yeah, with the ghost thing.
Yeah, the kid that's in there. You're slowly by the curtain.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Cardboard cutout. Right?
And listen. I think it's a person. I saw my own eyes. Have you seen it?
No.
I've literally had the VHS tape. So I'm talking like the big, like you put in a VCR. This is back in like the 90s. And I remember that was starting to come out. People were saying, oh, yeah, Steve Guttenberg was Tom Selleck and what I forget who the other person was.
Ted
Danson. It was a really good one. I want to watch one of these TSP, my love. Maybe we're going to watch one of those. 3 Men and a Baby. Those are just like nice, fun movies from the 80s. I love those freaking movies. I think that was the 80s, 88, 89, I'm thinking. Yeah. So we end up, I say we, me and the kids that, like in the 90s, we end up, having the VCR tape at this point, a bunch of kids. And we're like teenagers, and we're like, let's take a peek at this, like 10th grade, 11th grade, whatever it is. And we see the kid in the drapes of the window, so the curtains flowing. And I'm looking, and I didn't hear about the cardboard thing until later. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. I just thought someone snuck on the set. So when you see it, Nate, to me, it was a person. I didn't see a cardboard cutout, brother. But it's crazy because it's one of those things, like in The Wizard of Oz, they say you can see somebody hanging. Yeah. And I saw that too.
Where the trees rustle.
Yes. And when you play, I think it's Pink Floyd's songs from Dark Side of the Moon, how it all goes together with that. So if you don't know that, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of these things we say, I feel like this is common knowledge, but it seems like, there's some people who may not know these ideas. So hopefully you're a bit inspired and you go Google this with Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz and you go have your mind blown with some really cool music and some cool visuals, man. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about cool music, let's get into Guttz Far Away and let's really take a bit of time to sit back and chill. Get in your zone for a moment. Let's really set him up, Guttz. Let's set our audience up.
Oh, yeah. Enjoy.
Let's get him deep into it. We want to chill, get nice and mellow, and we want you to really enjoy your time. The Subjective Perspective show is all about you, ladies and gents. It's all about the love that you have for yourself, the fact that you take the time out of your day to listen to us, the fact that you take the time out of your day to inspire your consciousness. You deserve greatness in your life, and we hope that this song gives you a bit of inspiration on this gorgeous Sunday evening. I know it's a little rainy out there in the Northeast. I'm not sure about there out in the southern part of the country, southeast. But big shout out to my Uncle Buddy. Turned 70 years old today also out there in South Carolina. So got to give a big shout out. I gave a couple texts before. It was pretty cool. And we always got to give shout outs to our family out there on the East Coast as well as, this is our home. We grew up out in the East, but we're growing old out here on the West. That's how we think about it, bro.
Nice.
Ladies and gents, this is our brother. This is Guttz. This is Far Away. We're going to kick back and give you 2 minutes and 22 seconds that you don't got to spend a dime on.
How am I gonna find this? I want my lines to be for the common man, but still shiny like gypsum. Cast my dreams out in front of me for some time, and now I get them. Too long I played the motherfucking victim. It's the crux of the matter, navigating through the shitstorm. Borrow from the Rosses cause they know about the system and how to get up, stand up and fight for your right. We only got one life and I intend to live mine right. I'm just trying to turn my doldrum days into festive nights. You can make ugly look beautiful in the best of lights. Felt lost for a while, plus a little insane. Now lost in the rhythm cause it helped me maintain my direction barely straight. I meander through the obstacles, face fears with an open mind. Will make you see that nothing is impossible. Let your journey fill you up like carbonara to a pasta bowl. No matter how you slice it, hindsight always show you that another way was optimal. Finding mine is my mission today and I'm unstoppable. Been looking and searching, check my shoes, they always got dirt in them. Fending off demons that screaming, don't even try, you cannot take it. While the weight of depression collapsing on my spinal, trying to break it. Fuck that shit, I take that shit and lemonade it. Never searching for millions, yo. Feel like abandoned buildings really exuding my feelings, bro. Trying to attach but always leaving. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way. Yeah, I just wanna find a way.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, when I told you Far Away was one of those songs you could just sit back and chill to and get lost in, I hope you felt it. Guttz, brother, what's the process, man, that goes into making that song and all your music, man? And, like, what do you do, bro, to, like, get those beats and all that good jazz? And also the writing process.
Totally. Each beat's kind of different. Sometimes I use real instruments. This time, there's a folk artist called Rodriguez. He got kind of famous recently.
Oh yeah, Rodriguez.
Because he got discovered
Sister
super
Rodriguez.
late. Yeah.
For people that don't know the documentary, Searching for Sugar Man.
He's amazing.
You know the movie.
Of course.
Oh, didn't mean to cut you off. Big fan of Rodriguez. Did you see him when he played out here in Saratoga?
No, but I saw him at a festival in Washington. I saw him at Sasquatch in like 2013. And it was one of the coolest concerts I've ever seen.
Oh, did he sound like the album? Like
he really did.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
I won't sing all of his songs right now, but that album called It's one of the ones that have. It's like one of the major albums that was big in South Africa, like when he was major and stuff. Every single song off of that just like hits you in the heart. It's like, whoa. Sisto Rodriguez, for those that don't know, go do yourself a favor and check out Searching for Sugar Man.
Seriously.
I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, so this was a song called Crucify Your Mind that Sixto does. So I sampled some guitar from that.
That's what that was. I was
Yeah.
like, Crucify Your Mind.
And then I have like an MPC and just some music software, and so then I kind of get my drum samples on there and make a drum beat to it, and good to go.
Now, when you're doing the drum beats, brother, how does that start off first? And with the lyrics, do you first do the beat, or do you first have lyrics and then you have a beat that you're gonna like sort of like jot in between different like sounds in the lyrics?
Yeah, I started at first kind of like, I have these lyrics, I want to set them to a beat. And it was actually pretty hard to do because then it was hard to fit, like maybe your rhyme scheme wasn't the same as the music or something. So then I started doing it the opposite. And that's kind of what I do is make the beat, and then kind of the music gives me a feeling of like what I want to write about.
You know, it's so funny. The reason I asked that, Nate, is because the beats that you make are incredible, brother. Like, I think that you have an amazing way of putting together sounds. Like, there's like a background sound that you'll have. It's not just a bass track. You know what I'm saying? And when you incorporate like these different like tracks and these different like these different musical pieces, it gives it such a crazy dynamic, brother. And it brings it to life, and I love it.
Thank you,
I want
man.
you to know that, man.
Thank you.
For a moment, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a quick commercial break as we're here roughly on an hour here with featured guest Nate Guttenberg, Guttz, out here in Santa Cruz, California. Now, when you think about this, you know, we've been rolling an hour. That's how fast our interview combos go. You know, an hour goes like that. We're just barely scratching the surface. We're going to have Guttz back in. I mean, this is just irrefutable. We have more to talk about. But before we go there, I got a commercial we got to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, going to give you about 30 seconds, just a little shout out to everything going on in BeAwoke.com. Be back, 33 seconds. Welcome, everybody, to BeAwoke.com, the Be Awoke Entertainment Network, satisfying all of your intellectual needs. Please check out our incredible talk shows here at the Subjective Perspective Show, Dissent Radio with DN Chico, along with TSP TV, The Subjective Lens, and of course, The Video Artist. Please feel free to submit a video, a photo, or try to be a guest on one of our talk shows at BeAwoke.com. Ladies and gents, you know, quite often we like to go back to back with commercials, so I'm going to give you one more commercial just to keep you linked in on everything happening with us on BeAwoke.com. We'll be back 31 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, you found us at www.beawoke.com. You know, in a world that can feel as jumbled as it's been feeling, as scrambled as it's been, we're here to bring you a bit of peace and a bit of inspiration during your daily life. Check us out at beawoke.com and please share us with everybody you know. Ladies and gents, thank y'all for staying linked to everything happening at BeAwoke.com. And we want you to remember that we have an incredible show down in Southern California, Dissent Radio, hosted by our good friend, by our brother down there, DN Chico. And you already know, from people like Jill Stein, who ran for President of America, to Luke Rudowski he's had on, and everybody else. He just kicked off season 4, and I believe his first episode is titled Dissonant Bricks. Now, I'm about to take a munch of a little piece of chocolate, ladies and gents, as Nate and I are munching a little chocolate, because we're hungry here in the studio. We're getting hungry. Cool thing about having a friend in, and a great artist that we respect and wanted him to share his music first off, but we also consider Nate a friend, is that we eat chocolate on air.
I like it.
Yeah, we could say when we're going to call it quits. And I got to say, you know, Austin's a friend too. Same vibe with Austin. Austin Shaw, everybody. He's a featured video of our of our week. So please go out there and buy his album Felt, as we've been popping his work up for the last couple months. Just another local. And as I clear my throat here of all my chocolates, I get back into talking. Nate, my brother, I want to give you a moment to leave the audience with, first off, with where they could find your music, brother, okay? And I also have two other questions I have to ask you before we wrap up totally. But where can everybody find your music, brother, man? And I think you had mentioned already with Bandcamp. But is there any other, do you have any web pages out there also?
Yeah, at the moment I'm a little bit lazy on that. But so you can find me at Guttz, Guttz on Facebook. I also have a SoundCloud, same thing, just search Guttz. And I believe there's a YouTube also under the same name right now.
And ladies and gents, like I said, the music that we air tonight, you can get all on Gutz's Bandcamp, and it's where we been checking out Gutz's music. So honestly, brother Nate, your music's amazing, and we just want everybody to get out there and support this gentleman, because local artists are the people that are really the vibration of the society. You know, the people that keep the society moving. It's your local artists, your local thinkers, and people like Guttz are the individuals that one day will be extremely well known.
We'll see about that.
And I say this, you know, because there's that movie Almost Famous. I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Big fan.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's how it is in life, brother. You know, like we're all almost famous, man. You know, like think about it. You know, you're on the Subjective Perspective Show. We have a show called the Subjective Perspective Show. How'd that even happen, right? BUOK Entertainment. This all happens, right? And it all happens because in life, you know, you follow your heart. And you do what's right, you know, and you stay honest, and in the face of adversity, people that might do us wrong or situations that are crazy, that are really hard to deal with, you keep it moving in a way where you know the score of the game. And when you realize that you're valuable, that you deserve greatness, that you know you never deserve to be hurt the way anybody ever hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we always would say it. That in life, it's the people that hurt one another. Those are the ones that have the problem, you know? And it just so happens that it's the good people that get affected by those that may manipulate or do all other kind of crazy stuff, right? We got to recognize that that's something for everybody listening in that understands that has to understand that there's always somebody out there that has been through it also. So they're not alone. And
absolutely.
We want you to get in touch with Guttz on his social media. Please link up to him. Please give him a like on his Facebook. And let me tell you, Nate's somebody that if you send a message out to, he'll get back to you. You know, you want to know about what Nate's doing in the world of art. You want to know if he's going to be performing. You want to know when his next song's coming out. You know, please, link up to him. Like I said, there's good people in this world, and there's great people. You're one of the great ones, brother. And we really appreciate you, my man.
Right back at you.
I got 2 questions left for you, my boy.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you these 2.
Shoot.
First question. I ask everybody these ones, from Chomsky to Technique to everybody. You can go one of 2 ways on this one, Nate. You can go favorite author and favorite book, or you can go favorite director and favorite movie.
Ooh,
which
dang. I'm going to go favorite author and favorite book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing this, my brother.
It's kind of a weird one, but Christopher Moore, he writes some pretty funny books, and there's one called Lamb. It's like the Gospel according to Biff. Yeah, it's like Jesus's untold. Yeah, you know.
I right now, as Nate's saying that, I'm shaking my head up yes and down. You'll see this on the video when the video's out in a couple of days, or it's very, very soon actually. Big shout out to my cousin Louis, who moved up to Seattle, Washington from New York. Though he was he worked at Newsday for years, so the Newsday, which is a big New York paper over there, like almost 20 years or so. But he's out in Seattle, and he let me borrow that book, Lamb, by Christopher Moore. And let me tell you, it's one of the greatest books. And I let an old buddy out there in New York borrow it. So if you're listening to this, oh my goodness gracious, you know that you got that book, Lamb, and I think I may have gotten it back actually years back. But that book, Nate, is one of the greats, brother. And that shows your depth. It also shows your sense of humor. Because in order to appreciate that, you have to have an intellectual sense of humor, brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's very, very cool. All right. So I knew Lamb by Moore, man. I know Lamb by Christopher Moore. that brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to the final question of the evening. We gave you some songs by Guttz, gotten a little to his political side. Spiritual side, though. Are you a spiritual person, brother?
I think so. Not necessarily religious, but I'm definitely somewhat spiritual.
Would you be considering yourself more of a like Eastern strand thinker, like philosophical, like Buddhism, Confucianism, like stuff like that, or Taoism, Shinto, stuff like it's like more balance,
Totally.
or more like set up in religion, Christianity, Judaism, something like that, or Islam?
I'd say probably more of an Eastern influence. I've been really into Alan Watts for several years, like who's just kind of like good at explaining like Eastern philosophies to Western audiences.
I gotta read more Watts, actually.
Yeah, he's amazing. All of his lectures on YouTube now too, so you can just hear him speak for
so
days.
Cool. That's so cool. Back in the '90s, man, there'd be people I want to read or listen to, or you had to buy a book on tape, on a cassette tape, And recently, within the last 10 years, probably the last 5 years, we start to realize that hey, we can just Google people, and they pop up. You can YouTube anything, and it pops up. A song, such an obscure song from like the '80s, like a song like "Here Comes Your Man" by the Pixies. I used to love that when I was like 8th, 9th grade. And now it's like I don't remember ever watching the video when I was a kid. Now it's like that was the video. I could Google it. John Frusciante. You want to see some crazy interviews with Frusciante? Google John Frusciante. You're talking about one of the greatest guitarists. Remember, y'all, guitars for the Chili Peppers, but he went solo and put out like 10 plus albums.
It's crazy prolific,
amazing prolific. And not to use your word again there, but a great word for that. Yeah, just off the hook trendsetter. And this is really what sets the stage for people that are artists, others that go out there and react to society, but also those that are within the societal constraints. And react to society and reflect the emotions of what they feel in society. We all have a role. There's Frusciante's. There's Wayne Newton's, right? There's the person playing on the corner tonight in San Francisco. There's artists like us that are here. You know what I'm saying? There's all different levels of artists. I should say of the way that we're seen as being an artist. But in the end, the core of us is being the artist. And that's something that you embody, Nate, brother. And I just want everybody to realize that Guttz is a true artist, not a BS artist.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nate, my brother, the final question, kiddo. And as it's a force of habit, as I was growing up in the New York City, Long Island area, everybody would say, hey, kiddo, you could be, we were talking about Dave Amram earlier. I'll say, hey, kiddo, how you doing? Like I'll say kiddo to somebody in their 80s. It's a force of habit. So thank you for understanding that. This question that I ask everybody, brother, because I think it's the most basic question that I can come up with. It's funny because after we had the show for like 2 years, I saw one of the major television networks. I won't say which one. But on the TV, they asked the question that I asked right now. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, I wonder if they saw it from me, obviously. But I believe it's great minds think alike, and other people also have these ideas, obviously. And it's such a simple idea that I'm about to ask you. But I think it generates such depth that somebody could say, hey, I feel like Guttz also. Yeah, I think, I got that same feeling. I like that too. And then somebody could say, yeah, I connect with that person. I connect with that artist. And maybe they'll, send you a message. Hey, listen, life's crazy right now. You have any advice? And then we become that force for inspiration in people's lives. Nate, my brother, final question on this gorgeous October 29th. Happy Halloween, everybody. The Halloween episode here, y'all. Woo! So we got to get, maybe for Thanksgiving episode or something like that. We're going to figure out what I think we have coming out. And we'll do a little Christmas one, I think, out in the New York City area. We're going to be out there. My brother, Nate. Question is, kiddo, and whether you have a favorite one or you don't, whichever direction you want to go with it. This question is, what is your favorite color and why?
That's intense. No, honestly, my favorite color's always been blue. I don't have a real good reason, except I've just always been obsessed with the color blue. I really love the ocean, and the ocean is hopefully blue if you live in a good area. So, I love all shades of blue.
You know what's funny is I had a couple people tell me blue. Ron Jeremy told me like blue. Noam Chomsky told me light blue.
Nice.
Both of them had different reasons for liking blue.
I don't want to know Ron's.
Both wonderful. And I got to give a big shout out to both of those gentlemen because really, when you get, people that share their time with you and, people that aren't, that believe in you. You say to yourself, goodness gracious, we're on the right path. And I'll tell you what Ron, the reason Ron liked blue, it was because he liked the way he looks like in suits.
Nice.
Like actual tuxedo suits.
Nice.
Just so there's not too much mystery out there. Listen to Ron's interview with us. Honestly, a lot of people say it's incredible. A lot happens in that interview, so go back and check it out, okay? If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Everybody listening in, you got to hear when Ron was on. He was wonderful. And Noam Chomsky made the point that same thing you said, Nate, ocean.
That's awesome.
He loved the Massachusetts Bay, bringing it back to Boston full circle. You said, I think a family member went to Boston.
Yeah.
So now got a little shout out to Nate's fans out there that spends. Are they in Boston still?
No, actually, that's my older sister. She just moved to Cleveland, kind of, in
right on.
Ohio area. Yeah.
Big shout out to Gutz's sister out there in Cleveland, Ohio. Lisa TSP and I know that area very well. We spent some time there. Actually, we drove across America. And when sister hears this, she'll know Cleveland Browns Stadium, and she'll know the big fireman sculptor. So I'm just gonna give you a little shout out there, sister. Okay.
Nice.
So a little love out there going from us here at the Subjective Perspective Show. But when Noam Chomsky said that same thing, he said it was blue, because the ocean. And when he would sail on the Massachusetts Bay, it just did something to him. Ladies and gentlemen, as we here are going to stay, to stay in a frame of mind where we are all have the power to make changes on this planet. You see, I believe that people like Nate and myself are individuals that go out into society and sort of give inspiration, whether it's just through a conversation. When we had met, it was just a great conversation we got into. And that's what led us right here. And it's what's going to keep on leading us down the road. And I think that we become the change agents in that regard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 120 of the Subjective Perspective Show. Guest featuring Nate Guttenberg, Guttz, who you can find on Bandcamp. Check out his Facebook page. Check out every one of his social media networks. And just remember that it's artists like Nathaniel Guttenberg, Guttz, who you have to go out there and support. Nate, my brother, I want to give you the last word, my man, okay, before we shut us on down for the evening here on episode 120 and bring us out to the streets of Santa Cruz, California. Any last minute words you want to leave for our audience, your audience, family, friends, anybody listening on in?
Yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out to Dennis for doing some cool videos for me. Also to So Many Homies Productions, who I've done some stuff with. And then also just to Nick and Lisa TSP for having me and putting me on this awesome show with them.
It was our absolute honor to have you here, my brother. Honestly, it's been a long time in the making. We've talked about this for, I want to say 2 years ago when I told you about this. I wanted to get you on. And you know what? When we bumped into each other in the parking lot after I was thinking about you, I was like, it's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? We got to remember in life, my great audience out there, you all have the power to make changes in your life. And a lot of it starts with the way you think. You got to think positive. You got to think highly of yourself. You can't let anybody get into your mind, rent space, and make you feel less than wonderful. I think that when we all feel empowered, and powerful, and we feel valuable, we start to have a purpose in life. And Nate, my brother, your purpose is to be right here, right now, my man, to have time to inspire all these people listening in across this world. And everybody listening in, please go down to the main page after this show is closed out in a couple moments. beingwoke.com. At the bottom, we have a globe, and you can see everybody around the world that listens to us. People on every continent right now we have checking us out. Now, we used to have a globe up there a while back. That one was taken down years back, so we decided to put another one up. And very cool within the last 2-3 weeks to see people all through Europe, people in South America, people all through America, tuning in and really giving us your support. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to go out there. We want you to support Guttz, Nate Guttenberg out here in Santa Cruz, California, And most of all, we want you to remember that you are greatness. that you have the power to change not only your life, but the lives of people around you. Don't ever forget how wonderful you are. This is my man Guttz right here. Everybody, we hope that you enjoyed episode 120 of the first of many episodes on the Be Awoke Entertainment Network at beawoke.com. Here on the Subjective Perspective Show, we have a couple incredible other guests that are going to be coming back on into the studio, but don't forget, you're going to see this man back with us, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, as I close this on out, Guttz, any last minute words do we have for anyone, brother man?
Peace.
Peace. And as always, we say here on the Subjective Perspective Show, you are greatness. There ain't nobody in this world that is better than you. So you go out there and remember that everything you put out into this world, you're going to get on back. So give it everything you got. In the words of my great man Guttz right here, peace. And the words of your man right here, Nick TSP. We hope that you go into your weekend and your week a bit more thoughtful with the subjective perspective. One.